Hey guys, this is the Working Man Burt Show, and you're about to watch Loudmouth presents Off the Top Rope, uncensored, uncut, and raw. Enjoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, Off the Top Rope presents the fallout from Wrestlemania, and boy, is things falling out in a major, major way. If you're watching the wrestling pages, man, there has been a whole bunch of releases. With me, Mr. Birchall, I am shocked at some of the names that have been released.
I'm gonna be the devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
I'm not. There are a few names, and we'll throw them out in a moment. But there are quite a few of the names that I can understand why they've got rid.
Okay. What are the names that you can understand they got rid of?
Tucker.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. You know, obviously, him and Otis smashed it as heavy machinery. As soon as Otis went his singles route, what did Tucker do?
Yeah, but then they've gone and stuck Otis in another tag team, which means to tell me that they didn't have a plan for Tucker all along. Otis was the one that was carrying the team.
Exactly, of course he was. And now is he now carrying Chad Gable?
Yeah. Okay. I hope you mean that literally, because figuratively, I understand that Otis was a NCAA state champion. But Chad Gable, man, that kid's got a lot of stuff. If he was a foot taller, he'd be champion already.
Chad Gable is the next Kurt Angle, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
You watch in a couple of years' time. Mark my words.
All right. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. All right.
So Tucker, I'm not surprised. Did nothing with him. Bo Dallas, we haven't seen him since like NXT 2014. So let's just move on from there.
Apparently, he hadn't been on TV since 2019.
There you go. Says it all.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Because the last thing he did was the B team. Wasn't it?
Yeah. If you believe.
Well, there you go. And as rumours obviously surfaced about him being the alternative Fiend, that's obviously been put to bed now. Because they were saying that the Fiend. We'll get to the Fiend in WrestleMania.
Yeah. We'll get to that.
But there was a theory that Bo Dallas was the alternative Fiend based on size.
Would have made a good story though if Alexa Bliss had the alternative Fiend and Bray Wyatt.
I think that would have been great.
Yeah. Hey, listen, my idea about the whole Dexter Lumis kidnapping thing was also a good idea. Just because you like something doesn't mean WWE is intelligent enough to pick it up.
Very true.
Yeah.
Wesley
Blake, hadn't seen him around. Didn't even know what he looks like. Wasn't he gunning TNA?
No. Wesley Blake, Gunnar is Jackson Riker, who's now with Elias.
Yeah.
And Wesley Blake was part of the Forgotten Sons, and obviously has been forgotten. So, no pun intended there. But he's done nothing since Blake and Murphy. Let's be honest. He didn't really do a lot with the Forgotten Sons. Again, he's fallen down the wayside. Makes sense.
Yeah. And then, of course, that vacuum where charisma goes to die, Kalisto.
Hell of a talent.
Yeah, but of course,
just not used.
Yeah.
Biggest run, US champ. Biggest feud, right back. Yeah.
Was he seriously US champ?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It shows you how little I actually put value into Kalisto.
There you go. He came over here before he signed, and his matches were incredible. Just you could sit and watch him all day long. He was good.
You see, then again, a good performer is hindered by the WWE style of wrestling.
Very true. And we all know that when it comes to WWE acquiring said talent, they get watered down. Nakamura. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. Right. Chelsea Green's been released, but she was suffering from a broken arm. Being released while you're injured, man, that's a bit of a low ball.
Well, it is. It is. But what was she going to do? Don't get me wrong, she is talented as hell. But when she was fit and not on the shelf, they weren't doing anything with her.
True.
She was stood next to Robert Stone or Robbie E from TNA, from you guys who watch Impact. Watching them getting run over by a tank each week. It's not really using the right thing, is it?
Yeah. Look, when she was in TNA, she was doing that hot mess gimmick, which really, really got over. And I thought they were going to carry that gimmick over into WWE. And she got there, and she was blonde, and she was very generic.
Yes.
If you think about all the blondes that they've got on the roster, I mean, she didn't really stand out.
No, she didn't. And I don't think WWE gave her a chance to stand out. I mean, I don't know why they put her with Robbie E. There's no need for half-hearted managers these days. And I love Robbie E. I think he's a great talent. Why he's not wrestling is beyond me. But again, she'll head to AEW, or she'll go back to Impact. Wherever Matt Cardona is, or Zack Ryder to you guys, wherever he is, you'll get her in. Doesn't matter.
Of course. And she didn't leave Impact on bad terms.
No, she didn't.
Her contract ran out. As far as I understand, they offered her she wanted the same money, and they said, well, we the hot mess thing has run its course now. We don't really have anything for you. WWE have given you an offer. We suggest you take it, and she went.
Yeah.
So it's not it was not like a bad situation like with AJ Styles, where they gave him a low ball figure and said, take it or leave it. As far as I understand, she'll have a job. I heard an interesting thing today on Instagram with Billy Corgan saying how the NWA is starting to acquire more talent. It's just ironic that he said that today, and all of a sudden there was a whole bunch of releases from WWE. And the National Wrestling Alliance really does need talent. They really don't have talent.
Yes, it does. Yeah, it does. I think the first announcement you'll see is Mickie James.
Yeah.
Primarily because her husband's NWA champion.
Well, that's exactly what I said to somebody else on the telephone today. That's probably where she'll go. She's a 6-time WWE champion. I mean, come on. Hall of Fame. It's going to happen eventually. Yeah. It's a matter of when, not if.
Has to.
And man, she can still put a solid match together. I mean, she's 40 years old. She still looks $1 million. Why not?
She's I wouldn't say she's a draw, but she potentially could bring eyes on the product at NWA.
Yeah. Right. Now,
I can't see her going anywhere else.
No, I don't see her going anywhere else. Now let's talk about the three that shocked us the most, and we left them till the last. Which one out of the three shocked you the most?
Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe, because that's my choice.
Yeah, he's on Raw every week commentating. What has he done wrong?
Well, he was well liked backstage. Apart from the few injuries that he's had recently and one or two concussions, he's been cleared since September last year. That they've had him on commentary because Vince likes him on commentary. Now all of a sudden, he's been released. That's weird.
I wonder if there's contract issues. I wonder if, obviously, the Peyton Royce thing, and we'll talk about Billy Kay, but realistically, Samoa Joe's a huge loss. Samoa Joe when fit, can be a champion in any company.
Absolutely.
And I think Joe will go to AEW without a shadow of a doubt. That link from the Young Bucks from the ROH days.
Yeah. Right, now let's talk about the Iconics. Why does Vince hate tag team wrestling?
What does what? Sorry.
Why does Vince hate tag team wrestling?
He's never liked it. He's openly admitted it on numerous interviews. He just doesn't like tag teams. That's what annoys me is the fact that we get some good tag teams, and then 5 minutes later, Vince doesn't like it. He splits them up. Look, let's take Heavy Machinery. Right, they were a decent tag team on NXT. They were a good tag team on SmackDown. Why split them up? If you've got nothing for one or the other, and let's be honest, they fucked up massively with Otis with it and Money in the Bank bollocks.
Yeah.
Vince as great as a creative genius that he is, he's also a detriment to the business now, because it's almost like he's coming full circle. Mm-hmm. So he's started to, well, obviously when he took over the reins from Vince Senior, we got all these cool gimmicks, and we got all the action era, we got the ruthless aggression era and all that, and the reality era. And now it's like there's nothing else.
Yeah.
We're not, what era are we in? Because all I can see is NXT smashing it, right? And SmackDown and Raw are suffering badly. And the only reason why Vince calls up people is because he thinks that NXT fans will watch Raw and SmackDown. Let's say versus Damian Priest.
Yeah.
If you're a Damian Priest fan, which I know a lot of people are, they're going to want to watch him on Raw.
Yes.
And that's fine. But as soon as Vince doesn't like it, you're buried. You're done. Keith Lee's a prime example.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this is where people say that Vince needs to step down now. Let Triple H take the reins. Let's get some consistency back in wrestling. Because if you look at the main event stuff, the main event, the top guys are always highlighted at the beginning of the show and the end. Doesn't matter what anyone else is doing during that shuffle. He highlights the people he likes. Yeah. And that's where wrestling fans kind of have a different perspective on everything.
Right. Billy Kay. That is Vince. I'm sorry, Vince has dropped the ball on this one.
I think more so with Peyton Royce. Don't get me wrong. I think that both girls are very talented. Together, they are comedy gold. I think some of the skits they did backstage, brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. They would be a huge asset to the women's division at AEW or the women's division at NWA. Yeah. I don't see them going to Impact or Ring of Honor. Mm-hmm. But if they can go in as a team to AEW, I mean, obviously Sean Spears is there, Peyton's husband. So that's going to be something there. But yeah, they dropped the ball big time with her. I mean, they were pushing Peyton Royce. She had a win over Oscar. She had a win over Charlotte Flair. I don't see the ethos behind pushing somebody to the point where they go, okay, oh, well, sorry, you released, thank you. It doesn't make sense. That's like Mark in CBW pushing you, right? Let's just say you're not the African champion. Let's just disregard that, right? Say you get put over Mr. Wrestling, you get put over Anazai, get put over someone like a Devon Shooter or someone like that, and they build you, and then just before Wrestle Monster, they go, oh, sorry, loudmouth, but we just don't need you for the show. And you're like, oh my God, like I've got all this momentum, and now you've killed it. I don't get the booking side of things. And this is what we said like the other week. It's all about the people that are booking aren't wrestlers, they're writers.
Yeah.
And they don't get the business. I enjoyed the stuff with Billy Kay and walking around with their promo, trying to get some work and all that. I thought it was great. The fact they didn't capitalize on the Iconics in the Rumble was a bit of a piss take. But they need strong female wrestlers in WWE. And those two were significantly stronger than what they've got in NXT.
Okay.
I mean, you can disregard Io Shirai and Candice LeRae and maybe a Kirk Kai and Tegan Knox. But those two were unbelievably talented.
Do you think they would have benefited from going back? Especially now when the women's division is so hot?
I don't know, because would they have got lost in the shuffle? Look at Tyler Breeze. Tyler Breeze was up in SmackDown. They sent him back down to NXT, and he's done nothing.
Yeah. Well, at Stand and Deliver, they lost to Killian Dane and Drake Maverick.
I love both of them. I've wrestled both of them. I think they're great. They're lovely fellas.
Well, Rockstar Spuddy is just Rockstar Spuddy is fucking amazing.
If anyone wants to emulate someone in wrestling, go and watch anything that Spud does. or Drake Maverick. Sorry, yeah.
No. Let's call him what he is. The straight Maverick thing. Yeah, he's Rockstar Spud.
Yeah.
When he had the entourage, with him and everything, that's Rockstar Spud.
100%. 100%.
And for your wrestling fans, if you don't know what we're talking about, go check it out. You will. There is some stuff there that is golden. It is. You can watch it over and over and over again. It never gets old.
Agreed. There was a program in England, and I can't remember. It was something like Snog, Marry, and Avoid, and it was where they put random people in front of like a picture of somebody. In front of like 5 or 6 people, and they go, "Oh yeah, 6 out of 10, 5 out of 10." And then they do like a makeover with that person, and then they'd re-ask those people, and Spud was on it, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, can you?
Because they had to change his hair, his look. Oh, it was brilliant.
Yeah,
I'll find it and send you a link.
Oh, awesome. But aside from that, and aside from the WWE style, if you can take a look at some of Rockstar Spud's matches in the UK and some of the stuff that he did in TNA, go and seek it. It is really, really good stuff. Good, solid wrestling, and the man can sell.
Oh, can't just anything against EC3 guys. Please take it in.
Good. It was so good. Drink, as Jericho would say, drink it in, man.
Drink it in, man.
All right, WrestleMania. Oh, fun and games for everybody. I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. A lot of shockingly good performances, which is something we probably didn't expect. Due to the lack of the build-up. So before we go into everything, hats off to Bad Bunny.
Oh yes. We actually gave that match a thumbs down.
Yeah, we did.
And Doug Williams put out a tweet that said that if half the talent in WWE put in the time and effort that Bad Bunny had put in, there would be a lot more guys going over in WWE.
Oh yeah.
His timing was excellent. His selling was excellent. The Canadian Destroyer, holy hell. Props to Miz and Morrison for pulling for doing that. But apparently, now this is what I wanted to mention. Damian Priest and John Morrison were both carrying injuries.
Really?
So Miz and Bad Bunny actually had to carry that match. And if you watch that match back, the majority of the time, the Miz and Bad Bunny are in the ring.
After rewatching them.
You'll have to,
I must admit, I watched Mania on very little sleep because I was doing my auctions. So I was doing all my auctions, finished that, then I had to get everything packed up. And then it was like, sit down, watch the kickoff show.
The kickoff show was a slog.
Yeah.
Okay. I've heard a lot of talk about the choice of the opening match for Mania.
Yeah.
And how people kind of decried the fact that the WWE Championship went on first. I actually thought that was a masterstroke.
Let's be honest, it's happened before. Sheamus and Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Well, heavyweight title was on first.
The main reason I think, and nobody's really mentioned this, but we mentioned this in our prediction show. Drew carried through the pandemic era, the championship, and he carried a lot of Raw on his shoulders and things like that.
Yes.
And they wanted to get him out in front of a crowd first for that big pop. And I actually think that opening match, there was no other match that could have been the opening match. They pretty much had to be that one.
I agree.
Yeah. And then after that we had the shall we say the daughter of the Titus Slide, Mandy Rose, slipping in 40.
That was brilliant. I wondered what had happened as well, because the camera panned away when she kind of leaned to the side. I don't know what she was doing, but like she came out all like giving it this big one, and then she kind of like leaned. It's almost like her lats had given out and she'd gone down.
she rolled her eyes at the ship and apparently pulled a hamstring at the same time and had a slide.
Won't surprise me. Bless her.
The match itself was crap. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Popped hard for Tamina getting the win.
Yeah. She looks a lot more comfortable in the ring than like when we seen her like dressed as a biker. You know.
Yeah.
I don't think she's the most talented person, and that. Do you know what? That's that's the thing about when you see people like Peyton Royce and Billy Kay, like, you know, released, yet Tamina Snuka's still there. And I think that is purely because of Vince loved Jimmy.
Yeah.
Regardless of what he did, that's his word. I'm going to look after your daughter. And he's done that. I think if she'd have been in any other company, she'd have been gone long gone
absolutely.
by now. She can't talk on the mic. I mean, did you see the promo on Raw prior? Oh God,
that was very bad.
Like it's almost like you just think, just stand there. If I was a booker with Tamina, I'd say, stand there, look intimidating, do your supervised splash. That's all I want you to do.
That's it.
Don't do anything else.
Now, if there was a team that ever needed a mouthpiece like Billy Kay, it's Tamina and Natty.
Yeah, Natty can't talk. It's almost like she's trying to remember what her lines are.
I really,
and don't get me wrong, I think technically Natalia is fantastic.
Yeah.
As a wrestler, technically she's great. She's just boring, if that makes sense.
The term ditzy blonde. That's the what I get. She's very proficient in the ring. She's I don't know how to make this not sound like an insult, but she's terribly Canadian. You know?
No sexy fun time.
No, sexy. Although in saying that, she does have a very, very nice body.
Well, there you go. Something to look at. It's a catch of the eye.
Yeah.
I think the thing with that is, we know that her dad was the animal. We know her uncles were Owen and Brett and Davey Boy, but it's shoved down your throat every single time she's on TV. There's a British guy in NXT UK called Eddie Dennis, right? A Welsh guy. And they bang on about the fact that he was an ex-head teacher for a comprehensive school. And I'm like, I couldn't give two shits.
Yeah.
I know this. I just want to watch him wrestle. When you watch him wrestle, he's phenomenal. However, why do I care if he was a head teacher? When let's say, for instance, when you wrestle Wrestlemania 5, are the commentators going to go, oh, this is Loudmouth, he used to work for this and the other? Why?
No, that doesn't
make
sense.
Why do we need to know that?
That doesn't make sense.
Who cares?
Why they trying?
That's what he did.
Yeah. Why are they trying to give him the match striker? Don't give him the match striker.
I just don't get it. I don't understand why. I get that you have new fans each week tuning in and you have to kind of reiterate who your characters are. But I couldn't care less about like what Natty's dad did or what her uncle did. We all know wrestlers and wrestling fans know what they did.
Exactly.
But when it's shoved down their throat every time she's on TV, it's not interesting anymore. It's not like, oh my God, it's the Animal's daughter. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get you.
But then
I get you.
But then do you think she's been wasted in that tag team?
You know, it's difficult to put Natalia in a certain category because she does a lot of things good, but she doesn't do one thing exceptionally well. No. And if you look at people like Oscar, or you look at people like Becky, or you look at people like Bailey, they do one thing exceptionally well, and the rest of the stuff really, really good. Natalie does one thing really good, and everything else isn't, and that's a problem.
I agree. I think if her talking was as good as her technical stuff in the ring, I think she'd be a champion. Exactly. It's the fact she can't talk. It's almost like dare I say, speak of the forbidden name, Chris Benoit.
Yeah.
In the ring, phenomenal. Would you give him the stick to cut a promo? No,
No.
never in a million years, because he can't talk.
That's it. But he's intimidating, and he wrestles technically. He's brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
Good at one thing, everything else.
The unfortunate thing about that is he will always be remembered for what he did, not what he's done previous. Which is just life goes on. We digress. So women's title, the 4-way was to wrestle the champions on the second night, giving like you say, Tamina the pinfall. There was supposed to be a botch. I couldn't really spot it. One of the teams, I think, got pinned without meaning to get pinned. I don't know if it was Dana and Lana.
That was Greg Hamilton, the commentator there, bless his cotton socks. I think Billy Kay and Carmella got pinned, and he called the Riot Squad. He said the Riot Squad had been eliminated, and then he said correction.
Right,
no, it was Mandy and Dana Brooke, and
yes.
he corrected himself afterwards. Man, mistakes get made. Yeah. Listen, I started off as a commentator and announcer. When you're commentating and things like that, guys do things, and you get distracted. People are in your ear all the time, and sometimes you get distracted. I mean, oh my goodness, guy hits a 450. You don't see it. You just see the pin. He's like, hey, he pinned me 1, 2, 3, and the crowd's like, yeah, but he just did a 450. Didn't you see that? No, sorry,
because you've got 101 other things going on. So
that's
why I have a play by the colour.
I botched a call at the Arnold Classic in a 4-way match between Shelton Benjamin, Carlito, PJ Black, and Devin Shooter. And I botched a call there. And I was standing off to the side, and Shelton Benjamin actually turned around and looked and like glared at me for my mistake because he heard it. Because I was doing live commentary into the arena, and he heard it. And he was doing something, and he turned and he looked at me like a.
He just wanted the hole to open up and just swallow.
Oh my goodness! He grabbed me afterwards. He goes, "Don't you ever, if you're going to do something like that and you make a mistake like that again, leave."
Really?
Oh yeah. It was that bad.
Wow.
Yeah,
I really want to know what it was now.
they were all ganging up on Devin. They were all ganging up on Devin Shooter, and Shelton was creeping around the ring. I'm like, hey, Shelton Benjamin's creeping around the ring, kind of spoiling everything. There's supposed to be
okay, so you were giving the game away.
I was being a smok. Yeah, no, he grabbed me afterwards. He's like, don't you ever do that again.
Good.
Yeah,
so we should.
Yes. Yeah, no, like 2 drops of pee came out. I'm not even gonna lie to you because I'm a little bit shorter than him, but he is way more muscular than I am, and he was like, yeah, Lama, don't you ever do that again. I'm like, it's not gonna happen again.
I'm really sorry, Mr. Benjamin. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, just don't let it happen again.
Oh,
Jack Swagger's like, yeah, teach that boy a lesson. I'm like, oh, sorry.
I'd have been sorry. The people. Calm yourself down.
I'm sorry.
Go stand outside and put your hand on your heart.
Oh man, he was a lot. He was a lot of fun. Jack Swagger was a lot of fun. Man, he told the craziest stories, man. There's some stories that you're like, whoa, okay, that one's not coming out. And a lot of backstage.
We need to do. Well, we'll do a podcast on crazy stories.
Oh man! And then Seth Rollins and Cesaro. My goodness, give them 40 minutes, give them an hour, give them all the time in the world. Let them wrestle like that every night on SmackDown. It was glorious. The transitions, the move into the pedigree, into the neuralizer. It was great. Give it to me. Yeah. Every week, thank you very much.
I wonder what Vince thought about it backstage when they came through the curtain at the end.
No, he probably didn't like it. He's a bastard.
Do you reckon?
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that there was a leaked document of who the producers were for each match?
Us. I'm
not sure if it was if it was TJ Wilson or Tyson Kidd. I can't remember who it was. But
I didn't save it. I'd seen it and I wanted to take a screenshot because the main event on night one, we'll get to that one now, was agented by a certain wrestler, and we'll get to that. And I just think he did a phenomenal job.
Agreed.
I can't remember who the next match was.
No, it's fine.
Oh, that's night two. Hold on, I got night one here somewhere.
So we had title match. We had the four-way dance. We had the Rollins and Cesaro.
Wasn't Sami Zayn?
No, wasn't it Big E and Apollo? No, Apollo Crews
was night two.
Following night.
Oh, what happened tonight?
Sorry, guys. Me and Lama haven't slept all week, primarily because it's been wrestling non-stop. So, and plus we're old and our memories aren't the best.
Now that NXT has moved to Tuesdays, it's Monday Night Raw, it's Tuesday Night NXT, it's AEW, it's Impact Wrestling on Thursday night, it's SmackDown on Friday night. It's just wrestling. I don't think it's a bad thing, by the way. I just don't think it's a bad thing.
The more the merrier.
AJ Styles and Omos versus the New Day for the Raw Tag Team Championships.
That tells us how much we enjoyed that match because we forgot it.
Look, I'm not gonna lie to you, Chris. The psychology of the match, keeping the New Day keeping Omos out the ring, that psychology was fantastic. It actually made it a better match than it actually was. And for Apollo Crews, and we mentioned this, Apollo Crews and Xavier, man, they carried that torch, and we apologize profusely for AJ and for Apollo. Listen to me, for Xavier and for Big E about Amos, and it came to fruition because they did everything that they could to make it a good match.
They did. They were put in a position where to be honest, a lot of wrestlers would probably have said no. You know, like we'll go to the tag match on night two, and the only disappointing thing about that match for me was the pin at the end, the foot on the chest.
It's not good.
For me, it's not some disrespect, but when you've got a newbie like him in there, I mean, obviously they would have had to run it by, Xavier Woods and Kingston and say, look, would you mind? I mean, fair play to those two for just saying, yeah, sure, let's do it. I mean, they're not guys that I would expect to be hard to work with or hard to deal with, like planning.
Yeah.
But I would be, for me, I'd be fuming if he said, look, this is your first match ever, realistically. You're going to pin me by it. It's like the Ludwig Borger with the one finger on Tatanka.
Yeah.
The weird thing is, from what I remember, Chris Tatanka proposed that as the finish.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because they felt so strongly about Borger being like the next kind of big monster heel.
Way to go for him for proposing that, because that's things like that, man. You either get asked very nasty to do it with the receipt coming later on down the line, or they throw a big wad of cash at you and say, hey, listen, do the business. There's your pay. So for him to come up with that, look, I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Sorry, and I apologize for interrupting. I've got no problems. I've got no problems walking. Okay, I've got two bad knees, but I've got no problems walking. But if Mark came up to me and said, "Hey Don, listen, I'm going to give you 10 grand. You're going to climb up there and you're going to go through those boxes over there. What do you think?" Well, that's 10,000.
Tempting, isn't it?
Ooh, it's very tempting. Very tempting.
We can't give an honest answer because we're not in that position.
Mm-hmm.
We can say what we think we will say. Like, I'll be honest. There's times where I've been planning matches backstage, and someone said, "Oh yeah, we'll do this, man. We'll do this and we'll do that," and I'll say no. not doing that. I'm not taking it.
It's your right to say. It's your right to say no. If you don't feel safe, don't do it.
There you go. There you go. So evidently, the New Day have said, "Yeah, we'll put this big Omos over," and fair enough, they've done it. It's just hard to believe what's going to happen next because of how big he is. Like, realistically, let's be honest, I think Styles is the guy that's going to get pinned if they're going to lose the tag titles.
Yeah,
because you can't pin him, and it's also like, what are you going to do next with him? Because we all know things like we spoke about it earlier. They're going to get he's going to get broken up. AJ Styles is going to go off on a title hunt again.
Yeah.
What do you do with him? You can't do much because he's that big. It's like Great Khali. He wins the world title, and then next minute he's dancing.
Yeah, he's dancing with the fart machine, Natalia. There we go.
Exactly.
Speaking of fart machines and jumping off of hard things for a lot of money, Shane McMahon and Braun Strowman in the cage match.
Did it live up to expectation?
It was crap.
Probably the worst Shane McMahon match.
And you like Shane. I'm not going to lie to you.
I love Shane. I think very highly of Shane.
The cool spot the cool spot about this was when Braun Strowman peeled the cage off. I don't know if it was gimmicked or not, but I wouldn't put it past him if he just tore the cage himself and did it.
Maybe.
Yeah, and then pulled him through. And then, of course, Shane has to jump off something high. Crashed and burned. What can you say about it?
Well, let's be honest. The thing is, how many times have we seen that? We've seen Kurt Angle moonsault off the top. We've seen Rikishi go off the top. It's not a WrestleMania moment, is it?
Not anymore. Put it this way. Okay, let's put it this way. If
Shane gone,
if the King of the Ring spot with Mankind and Undertaker happened at WrestleMania,
wait, the first or second?
The Hell in the Cell one.
Yeah,
where he threw him
one. Okay, because the second one wasn't supposed to happen.
No. So if that had happened at WrestleMania, that would have diminished everything else that has happened in terms of Hell in a Cells and things like that at WrestleMania. A cage match at WrestleMania was supposed to be a marquee type of match. Yep. And I think WWE did more harm than good by having that match at WrestleMania with those two people.
Yeah, but I mean, like when we did the pre-stuff for this, we obviously spoke about the steel cage, and we liked the old
blue cage.
The old blue cage. Yeah. I think they should have gone back to the old blue cage.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? Give it a throwback.
Why not? Listen, if they're gonna, I mean, let's be honest. Titus O'Neil and Hulk Hogan didn't go down well. They went down like a sinking ship. No pun intended. They were blocking out the booze for Hogan as well, which is disappointing because I don't think he's as, I dare say, he's as big as what people think he is now.
No, and I was actually thinking about this the other day, just to myself. Hulk Hogan is probably the biggest heel in professional wrestling ever.
Yeah.
Because if you think of if you think of all the guys he kept down, and then put creative control over, people now, history has a funny way of revealing itself in certain situations. And when you look at guys, you can name 10 guys in WWE and WCW that would have made excellent champions if it wasn't for Hogan.
Yeah.
You can name them now. You can name them now.
Let's do it. Let's do 5 each.
Okay.
First up, Chris Jericho.
British Bulldog.
Yeah. Benoit.
Mr. Perfect.
Eddie Guerrero.
Roddy Piper.
Yes. Hell yes.
And it goes for WCW too, by the way.
Jeez. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Mr.
It's,
Wonderful.
Paul Orndorff.
Paul Orndorff. Jesse.
Yeah.
How about, what's his name? Ravishing Recruit.
Rick Rude.
Yeah.
Yeah. This.
The list is just, it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
It's when power is given it to it's not to the wrong people, but it's not given the right way. It's almost like I was talking to a friend of mine who lives in Oslo, and he spoke about player power. He's a professional football coach, and he said as soon as like a few of the players get together, if they don't want that manager there, they kind of influence the rest of the group, and then that manager goes. Very similar with Hogan, he kind of got his team together and he put over who he wanted, and whoever he didn't bother with was kind of thrown to the wayside. That's why the NWO was so bloody big.
Yeah.
Because he picked the guys that needed to be in there because that gave them that spotlight.
That's it.
Anyway, we digress.
We
Shane
digress.
McMahon, Braun Strowman, let's be honest, it was dog shit. We're not bothered. Let's move on.
All the
main event
down.
time.
From the ridiculous to the sublime, good God Almighty, this match was fantastic. It was everything I had hoped and more.
Yes, 100% agree. Sasha Banks' role that night was to show how good Bianca Belair was. That was her role. She knew she was dropping the strap. She's going to do it her way.
Yeah.
And I tell you, it worked.
The emotion. Okay, let's put it this way. Bianca had the biggest win face ever when she started crying in the ring. But I thought it was also that appreciation, because the crowd appreciated the history that was being made. They appreciated that the right people were main eventing at the right time. Sasha was the perfect heel champion. Belair was the perfect baby face. I know they don't use that term in WWE anymore, but
no.
It was the perfect storm of everything. And the agent for this match was TJ Wilson.
Yeah.
And he put this match together. And I don't know where he got the inspiration for this match, but wherever he got the inspiration for, my God, he did it.
He smashed it out of the park.
Oh man, that match was in the stratosphere. That match was in the stratosphere.
What people forget as well is that it was a moment in history where two black female wrestlers main evented the first night of WrestleMania.
That's it.
When was the last time we saw two black women, very, very skilled women, in a main event, wrestle for one of the most prestigious titles in the world?
Oh, no. It's first time.
Never mentioned, though.
Never mentioned?
Never mentioned during commentary.
Scandalous.
If you listen back to the commentary, nothing was ever mentioned. Strange.
I'll have to go back. No, you have to go watch the Bad Bunny match. I have to go back and watch this one because, as an announcer and commentator, I normally hear those things. I didn't hear it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to go back and watch it. Let's. No. We're gonna talk about one specific moment in that match that made me cringe. It made me do that scared laugh. You know when you get really scared. When Bianca took her hair and whipped Sasha.
Oh.
Now people have been accusing WWE of piping the noise in, but then you go and hear the people that were actually in the crowd, and they're saying they were sitting in the cheap seats and they heard it.
Yeah.
And I don't care if it was piped in. I don't care if it was in the arena, whatever it may be. The mark that it left on Sasha Banks, you cannot fake that.
No.
So the noise was phenomenal. I watched it on a loop on Twitter. There was a loop in it, just 3 seconds, and just that crack. It's like when Walter chopped Adam Cole.
Yes.
When Imperium Undisputed Era, and he chopped him and he did that somersault. That noise reminded me of that, and it just like I've always said to you, Chris, the simple things in wrestling often bring me the most joy. The match with Mark Awesome and Masato Tanaka at One Night Stand. It's not the best technical match, but that match brings me so much joy. Walter chopping Adam Cole.
Yeah.
I'll watch it now. I'll laugh my ass off. That hair whip is added to that list because that was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I heard, and I'm sorry to waffle on here, I heard that Triple H had gone to Bianca and said, don't use the hair whip, because she was using it often in NXT. And Triple H said to her, don't use the hair whip. You only use it on when it's absolutely, absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
And the fact that she held it back and then used it at WrestleMania made that moment even better.
I just can't get over.
Yeah,
I can't get over how long her hair is.
Oh, it is stupid long. Not only that, once again, it sounded like a whip. It cracked. It was amazing. It was amazing. That match was fantastic. 10 out of 10. Dave Meltzer can stick his stars up his ass, but if he doesn't give it 5 stars, he's already a joke, but he's going to be a knobhead on top of it.
Oh, I'm not even listening to Meltzer.
Yeah, well. Anyway.
We said it will be one of the best matches over the weekend, and it turned out to be that.
It was.
So
it's going to be hard to say, but I thought it was better storytelling than the triple threat. But I like the triple threat because everybody played their roles to perfection. Everybody
which we'll get to next.
Yeah, everything did. Everybody, the timing there was fantastic, which we'll get to. Night 2, and we were so optimistic about Night 2, and Night 2 turned out to be
worse than what we thought. We thought that Night 1 was going to be the worst, and Night 1 actually, by the odd thing, was actually really good. Yeah, I've just had a text come through on my screen here saying that there might be more releases. So I'm just trying to find that out.
We'll
I don't know if you can find that, but let's be honest. Night 2, we were all me personally, I was all in it for Oscar and Rhea Ripley. Where do we start? Let's start with what was the first match?
The Fiend and Randy Orton, and I really don't want to talk about it.
I think that was the most disappointing finale to a feud ever.
A feud that went on 6 months too long.
What did it accomplish there?
Nothing. It's a waste of talent. It's a waste of television. The only thing that's come out of this is Alexa Bliss's heel turn.
But she's already heel. The Fiend is a heel. She's a heel.
Randy Orton's a heel. It's the storyline that made no sense. It really is. It's a waste of television. It's actually a waste of our time talking about it.
Okay, let's move on.
My goodness, we're back to Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax and Tamina and Natalie.
I think the least said about this, the better.
And Night 2 was the one we were most optimistic about. My goodness, it's crap. Nia Jax.
Yeah, they just put Shayna Baszler by herself now. Get them tag titles off her. Get Baszler in there with Bianca Belair. Job done.
Yeah, there we go. And then
my screen just lit up like Blackpool Illumination.
I saw that.
Can't see.
I saw that.
It's like I've been a sun. It's like I'm tanning again.
Oh my goodness.
Good grief.
Then we go on to a match that they gave 11 minutes for, that they should have given 50 minutes for, and that was Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They gave them 11 minutes, and my goodness, did they pack everything into that match.
It felt like it was the beginning of the feud when it was Steen versus Generico.
Yeah.
And they tried to get in like the most amount they could to keep you wanting more for the next match.
You know, and I'm okay with it. And I'm okay with it. I really am okay with it, because these guys, they wrestled. Now, I don't want to exaggerate. But Kerry Silken, who used to run ROH back when Steen and Generico was there, said they wrestled each other over 170 times on TV, road shows, and things like that. So these guys know each other. Yeah. And you give them 11 minutes and a WWE crowd wanting more, I'm all for it. Give me more. Yeah. Just like Cesaro and Seth Rollins, just give me more.
Yeah. I mean, the best part of the match as well was when Kevin Owens stunned, what's his name, that YouTube lad?
Logan Paul.
Whatever. Yeah, don't know who he is, don't really care. Shouldn't be in the wrestling ring, shouldn't be anywhere near the business. But yeah, it was great. Pop me.
Yeah. I'm okay with it. I just don't, you know what? The Rock has set such a high standard for selling stunners that when people don't flop for a stunner, I'm kind of disappointed. You know,
yeah.
So he took the stunner and he laid there, which is technically the correct way to do it, because it's supposed to stun you.
Yeah.
But as soon as the guy stops flop, it's like Cedric Alexander's lumbar punch.
Yes.
When the guys when he does the move and he lifts the guy, he shoots the guys off with his legs, and the guy over rotates and he sells and things like that, it makes the move look $1 million. When a guy just takes it,
it's like the monkey flip with Dolph Ziggler when he over rotates it.
Thank you. And you know what? Just be a little bit more ecstatic for taking a stunner, for fuck's sakes. I don't know how else to put it.
I've been marking out. I took the fall-away slam from Tatanka and I was marking out inside. Even the tomahawks, I was like the 14-year-old kid inside me buzzing. I'm like, yeah, why not? Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I was speaking to Angelico from AEW because he was a big fan of Matt Hardy, and he got to wrestle Matt Hardy, and Matt Hardy gave him a twist of fate, and he oversold it. So he, instead of landing flat like this, he kind of sparked himself a little bit.
Yes.
And Matt came up to him and asked after the match, he's like, "Hey, what the hell are you doing?" He's like, "Listen here, let me tell you, it's been a dream of mine to wrestle you, so that now that I wrestled you, I'm making sure I'm selling big." And Matt was like, "Okay, keep it up then." So, you know,
there you go.
One of those things.
There you go. Because you get some people who like either don't sell things or, you know, yeah. And there was a guy. I'm going to just go off on a tangent here. There's a guy in Germany, and they had me win their tournament, and then I was going to challenge the guy for the title at the end of the night. And I was like, no, because you're going to put him over, but let's like build on that for the next show. So they said, oh, well, we'll do like a quick like stick talk. I was like, cool, that's fine. And he goes, and when he's talking, just hit him with knockout punch, let him drop. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, cool, no worries. So we're talking, and he hits the go home line. So I just boom. So I give him the shot, and he stands there and he shakes his jaw. Right now, bearing in mind, I've just won a tournament wrestling 3 or 4 people in a row with that move, and he didn't sell it. So I was like, right, okay, here we go. So I hit him properly and knocked him out because he didn't sell it. So there's people out there that don't sell things because they want to make themselves look strong, but there are guys like Angelico who will oversell something because they're wanting to do that for the guy they're wrestling. Yeah. So hats off there, because there aren't many people out there that will do that.
Yeah. And you know, that's one of the things. That's one of the things, and I mentioned this before about AEW I don't like. And it's a pet peeve more than anything else. And that is everybody wants to put everybody else over, and nobody's greedy, in quotation marks, to be that guy. And I mentioned Orange Cassidy taking the powerbomb from Luther and kicking out. It's little things like that bother me about AEW at the moment.
Then, if you look at the VPs and the CEOs, Omega is on the board, he's champion. Jericho's on the board, he's been champion. The Young Bucks, they're tag champions. Cody Rhodes, TNT champion.
Yeah.
I think it's green in a different way.
Yeah.
They've made their mark where all the VPs have got a title or had a title. Now, that's fine. But when it's noticeable, like you say, it becomes a pet peeve where it's agreed in a different way. But I mean, I don't know, like for you, when you wrestle, do guys ever sell for you? Do guys come to you with ideas? I'm going to take this move from you, and that's going to be great, and I'll sell it like this. Or do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you come across people who will, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It should be 50-50.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I get you fully. Matt Riddle.
Tag title match, dog shite.
Yeah, thank you very much. I can't decide now. Apollo Crews winning the Intercontinental Championship or Sheamus winning the United States Championship. Man.
I agree with both.
You agree with both? Wow,
yeah.
Wow. I want to hear the opinion. I want to hear the Sheamus one because as far as I understood, Matt Riddle was going to be champion for a while, but he wasn't supposed to be champion. This was supposed to be Keith Lee.
And then Vince got involved.
Yeah, and then Vince got involved. Okay, why do you agree with Sheamus?
Okay, former Royal Rumble winner, former World Heavyweight Champion, WWE Champion, Tag Champion, Intercontinental Champion, US Champion. Why not? Why not?
Do you think it's a credibility thing?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. With the speaking out movement last year and Riddle being kind of a part of that, yes, he was acquitted. He was found not guilty and whatnot. Get it? But there's still that stigma. There was a big line on Twitter this afternoon when they announced the releases, and they said, "But yet all the nonsense have still got their jobs." And there was a question. There was like 8 question marks straight after, and it got some traction. And if you look at what happened with Riddle, like on Raw, he forgot his line. He didn't know what he was doing. He kind of just scooted off. Sheamus can back up what he does.
Yeah.
And I think, and if you notice, I'm not going to say, because I think Sheamus is great, but I think Vince has kind of in his ear, rough him up a bit. That bro kick from the moonsault.
Oh yeah.
That looked far more stiff than what it should have done.
Mm-hmm. It busted him open.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
As a visual impact, man, what a visual impact. As Riddle's coming off like as a bro kick just came out of nowhere and just flattened him. Right. Okay. I agree with the Apollo Crews one. People often talk to me about wrestling, and there's little things you don't reveal to some people. There's still a bit of kayfabe. One of the things is the money's in the chase.
Yeah.
And people don't understand this. And Apollo in 3 weeks has been a more effective heel than he was in 5 years in WWE in NXT? Yeah. In 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And that is fantastic. This title, I don't believe should be going anywhere for at least 5 months. At least 5 months.
Yeah. Yeah. Give him a good run with it.
And they should just put babyface after babyface after babyface in front of him, and he should be mauling them all.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like 7-8 minutes tops, and he should just be killing them.
Does it warrant him having that bodyguard? What's his name? Babatomba or what was his name?
Oh, yeah. Old Dabakato from Raw
Dabakato, yeah. Whatever. Why does he need a bodyguard?
Why does AJ Styles need Omos?
Correct.
Anyway. But yeah, it is what it is. I totally agree with that. Give Apollo a run. Let him run with it. Royal Rumble, he can lose it. Not any time before.
Yeah.
And let him slay babyface after babyface after babyface. And let good things happen.
It has more credibility.
Thank you.
The thing is with the US title, as we know, it kind of gets passed around a lot. It's like that 24/7 title. It gets passed around. It loses its draw, its appeal, its credibility. So if you have a champion, like for instance, Walter, he's 780 something days as WWE UK champion.
Yeah.
But it gives that credibility. Like, who's going to stop him? You know what I mean?
I really thought it was going to be Ciampa, man. I really thought it was going to be Ciampa. I don't think that's finished, by the way.
I don't, but it depends on what they do with the big guy with Waltz. I don't know what they're going to do with him. And the thing is with NXT UK as well, do I dare say there's no one coming through that has that appeal.
I watched NXT UK and I switched to another channel and I switched back and they had two other guys in the ring and I thought it was the same match. Long hair, skinny guys wearing those cut off like, jockey type shorts type of thing. Black boots with kick pads on.
I don't even know you're on about because I don't watch it.
Trust me, it's remember when you were younger, you used to cut those dolls out and string them out like this or make Chinese lanterns or something like that? Same. The only thing that's interesting about the only interesting thing about NXT UK is the women's division, because their women's division is fantastic. You'll like it, don't worry. You'll like it, don't worry.
I know who's in it. I'm all right, thank you.
Okay.
Right, listen. Before we go on to Mania, listen, I'll tell you why. If you look at the women that were signed for the NXT UK, 2 or 3 of them have made their name elsewhere. The rest of them are just plucked from the indie scene. Says it all.
They got that Japanese lady. I can't remember her name.
Sakamoto,
who is now, and don't quote me on this, but has taken a whole bunch of girls one side, and she's busy working with them. So hopefully the standard will improve.
I hope so, but let's just throw it out here. NXT UK, right? The key word in that, UK. Your champion is German. No sense.
He's actually Austrian.
Your first ever women's champion was Australian. Your second women's champion was Australian.
Hey, listen here. Just because UK wanted to take over a quarter of the world doesn't mean you have to be sour about it.
I'm not being sour. I'm not being sour. I just don't understand why NXT UK is now becoming NXT Europe and NXT Worldwide. Because it's not
mysteries of the universe, man.
I can't be asked to find them out anyway.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyway.
Main event time.
How good was this?
Oh,
how good!
Fucking phenomenal. You know what? And I'm gonna say this now. There's a lot of talent in WWE. There's a lot of talent in WWE. Okay. But I don't think, bar maybe AJ.
Yeah.
Maybe AJ. You could take one of these guys out there and insert somebody else into this match, maybe AJ.
Yeah.
They could have done a better job than these 3 guys did.
I agree.
This match was, for lack of a better term, it was perfect.
It was an emotional roller coaster. You had Edge coming off the win from the Rumble. You had Daniel Bryan back from neck surgery and being told he could never wrestle. And you've got Roman Reigns in the gimmick of his life now.
Yeah.
You've got, I almost want to say you've got all three wrestlers at their absolute peak in regards to the psychology. I mean, don't get me wrong, Edge was in his peak back in the Attitude Era, back in the Ruthless Aggression, obviously the Yes movement has been and gone. But if you look at storytelling and the way that everyone's role kind of came about, you're right. It couldn't have been more perfect.
Yeah, that's it. And props to Jey Uso who played his role perfectly. Man, he took I think it was the execution on the stairs. There was not a lot of give there. There was not a lot of room there, and he took it like a champ. Took it like a champ. Absolutely, it was so good.
And then we have the controversy at the end.
Was it a controversy?
I believe so. Were all four shoulders on the canvas?
As far as I could see, yes. I don't think this was as controversial as WWE wants to play it out, because you had Daniel lying this way, you had Edge lying this way. He was kind of teetering like this.
Yeah.
So technically speaking, all four shoulders were down. But I understand why they would want to extend this, because Edge needs a singles match with Roman. Because at Fastlane, Daniel Bryan had his singles match with Roman.
Yeah.
I don't expect Edge to win. Just put it out there. I don't expect Edge to win. But I do expect them, maybe not at Backlash, but eventually either at SummerSlam or Survivor Series, that this singles match is going to happen.
Yeah. And it's not often that you see a Royal Rumble winner lose in the main event.
Yep. That's also that. Well, that's a controversy in itself.
The thing that me and Almath are reacting to is the fact that Edge was technically covering Daniel Bryan when the referee counts to 3.
Yeah.
But because of Edge's shoulders being on the canvas at the same time, technically whoever's on top of Edge would get the pinfall because there's no one with the shoulder up.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're going to do come SmackDown. I think they'll address it. And like we say, they'll want us to think it's more controversial than what it actually is. But it was a very unique way of finishing a triple threat.
Also, on top of that, it made Roman look even more badass than he actually is.
Yeah.
Pinning the two guys that have been giving him the most turmoil in his championship run. So there again, effective at telling a story in getting Roman Reigns more over. Because let's face it, as much of a bad guy that Roman is now, he is more over than he's ever been.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
But sorry.
Do you think that's down to Heyman in his ear?
You know, Heyman had a large part to play in all of this, creatively. So it's got Heyman's prints all over it. There was somebody else that was helping him, but I can't remember the agent's name. I heard it somewhere, but it's just escaped.
I think it was Jamie Noble.
It could have been Jamie Noble, because I know that Jamie Noble does agent for SmackDown, so it could have been him. Could be mistaken. I don't.
We'll have to get confirmation on that.
We'll have to get confirmation on that. But overall, the main events from night 1 and the main events from night 2, TJ Wilson and Paul Heyman, and if it is Jamie Noble, you guys deserve a ton of props, because quite frankly, in terms of main events, besides taking Shawn Michaels at 26, Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton and Batista at 30, a few others, Rock, Stone Cold at 17. You can go 15, 17, 19, take your pick. That was the best main event that they've had in a really, really, really long time.
I agree.
A really long
And we
time.
also had the Oscar and Rhea Ripley, which we haven't spoken about, was going to be the match of the weekend.
I was
Don't
hoping.
get me wrong, it was fantastic, but this triple threat was somewhat different.
Yeah, look, I didn't think they were going to pull the trigger on Rhea Ripley, but they wanted to get Charlotte involved, and we did mention in the predictions that if you were going to get Charlotte involved, the best way to do it would be for Ripley, would be for Charlotte to beat Asuka, and then Ripley to challenge Charlotte for it. But they went the other way. Does it get us to where we want to go with the Ripley-Charlotte match? Yes. Is it a little bit too early for Rhea Ripley? I still think so. But if you look at Bianca Belair, Raquel Gonzalez on NXT, and Bianca, they are Triple H's project, and all of them are not champions. So we keep on calling Vince a bell end, but if you look on this, you can start to see the imprints of Triple H coming in more and more and more.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Your first question was, do you think it's too soon to kind of pull the trigger on Rhea Ripley? No. She's generating a lot of traction. She has proved herself in NXT. Mm-hmm. She hasn't been there long, and I think she proved it last year at Mania against Charlotte.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. If you can prove it on the main stage, it's the biggest show in our industry.
Yeah.
If you can prove it on that, take the ball, run with it.
Yeah. Do you think now you and I both know as performers, there are certain times when you perform in a match or you perform somewhere and people go back and say, yeah, we wanted to take a chance on you because we saw you in that match doing that. And that's what made us go, yeah, no, he can do that. Like, I don't know if it was, where yours came in, but mine was at WrestleMania 3 when I did all the backstage interview and the things like that. I believe that was the time when Mark turned around and looked at me and said, hey, listen, we can do something with Donovan. We can do something with the loudmouth name. We can push it to the moon. It's up to him where he goes, but we're going to give him the opportunity to do that. And like you mentioned, the Charlotte Rhea Ripley match last year was really, really good. And I think that was the catalyst for them to say, okay, listen, this is what we're going to do. Yeah. So, props for you for predicting that. I do unfortunately have to admit defeat. And I have already ordered my bright pink shirt with sexy, sexy fun time printed on it.
Yes. And from future podcasts, you have to wear it.
I have to wear it. 4 words. Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Oscar, you're still the queen of my heart. But
where do you think they go with Oscar from now?
Turn a heel, put in a tag team with Io Shirai, let them kill everyone.
Do you reckon they'll bring back Kairi Sane now?
I hope so, because the Sky Pirates were really over.
Yeah.
But in saying that, if you bring Kairi Sane back, Io Shirai now has dropped the title. Where does Io stay in NXT? Because she's done everything in NXT. She needs to move.
I think Io goes to SmackDown.
I would be interested to see. You know what? I don't want Io to go to SmackDown. I want Io to go to Raw, because do you want to talk about the Raw after Mania briefly? We're gonna mention it. I just want to mention this match. Io Shirai versus Naomi. Two very skilled women in the ring. Naomi can wrestle her ass off, but she's been dialed down because they wanted Charlotte to be the most athletic. They told Trinity to back down a bit. But if you give her the right opponent, the right time, with the right agent, you are going to see that woman fly. And I believe Io Shirai is the right opponent for her.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
See, for me, with all due respect, Naomi, I wouldn't even put you in that same category. And that's not being rude or, disrespectful. But the only reason why she got a slight push was because of that shooting in Florida in that gay bar.
Yeah.
And she was quite vocal about that. Now it's a horrible situation. But had she not spoken up about that, I don't think her push would have been as kind of long.
Okay.
I want to see Io Shirai against Bayley, without a shadow of a doubt.
I understand why, because if you look at this, the women's division on SmackDown, it is weak.
Yeah, no, you said right. Okay, so you say that though, and I look at the Raw side as weak. When you've got Natalya, Tamina, you've got Dana Brooke and Lana. Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose. You got Lana and well, it was Billie Kay, but not now. The main girls there, Shayna Baszler, Charlotte, Asuka, Rhea Ripley, who are gonna give you a match. Now we don't know where Becky Lynch is gonna kind of fall in there. She might come down SmackDown, but on SmackDown you've got the likes of Bayley, Sasha Banks, and Bianca Belair. Those three in general, regardless of anyone else, if you're going to add Io Shirai in there, or if you add Dakota Kai up in there, or Tegan Knox, you've got a pretty good, or even Candice LeRae, you've got a good women's division. Regardless, the WWE, for me, over the course of NXT, SmackDown, and Raw, have got a great women's division. There are still some there that are, shall we say, a bit iffy, like a Lana, like a Mandy Rose, a Dana Brooke. I couldn't trust Dana Brooke as far as I can throw her. But with the talent that's coming up through NXT as well, if they're used properly, and this is what we said earlier on about the usage of Keith Lee, the usage of Matt Riddle and guys like that, and Nakamura. If the girls, the females, like you said, the imprint of Triple H on Raquel Gonzalez, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley, if that continues, that women's division will be amazing.
Okay, subversely, on the SmackDown side, you've got Bayley, Sasha, and Bianca. Okay.
Yeah.
If one of those three get injured,
yeah,
you have Ruby Riott, you've got Liv Morgan, you've got Carmella. Yeah. I don't think any one of the three of those girls are strong enough to make it up to the top. Where does Becky fit in?
Carmella, former women's champion, Money in the Bank holder. Ruby Riott, just give her the fucking ball, let her go with it. She'd be fantastic. Becky Lynch comes in, boom, there you go.
Okay, Becky goes to SmackDown.
She has to.
Okay.
Well, okay then, big man. If she goes to Raw, where does she fit in? Because if their priority is Rhea Ripley and Charlotte, Vince isn't going to budge. If that's his way, that's it. You take it to SmackDown, you've got a new opponent for Bianca Belair. You've got, I I always thought we'd see Asuka Becky Lynch for the title again, because obviously it was handed, and that might come out to fruition, in a year or two time. But realistically, if Becky Lynch goes to Raw, where does she fit in? She doesn't. She has to go to SmackDown.
Fair point.
That's my opinion.
Point. Yeah, no, fair point.
If you disagree, that's absolutely cool, man.
Yeah. Well, wrestling is subjective, my man. We've mentioned it many times.
Absolutely.
The Raw after WrestleMania.
I'm glad I didn't stay up for it. Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what to tell you.
Two main things for me. Two main things. And you can agree and disagree. Number one, Viking Raiders are back on TV.
That's a plus.
As a tag team, they need tag teams. Now, we've already said about Vince not liking tag teams. They need the War Raiders. I say War Raiders, but Viking Raiders.
Viking Raiders. They're the War Raiders, for goodness sake, man. Jeez.
Or the Viking experience. That was a big plus. I know. Just when they came out, the Viking experience, I'd sit there and go, what the fuck's going on here? What is that? What does that even mean?
Yeah.
It's a plus. The Viking Raiders are back on TV.
Yeah.
War Machine are back on. That's brilliant. Right? Hanson and Rowe, yes. Sorry, Ivar and whatever you want to call them.
Eric and Ivar.
Eric and Ivar, there you go. I like him as Hanson and Rowe, but still.
Yeah.
And the other plus on there was Charlotte's promo.
It was good. It was good.
Now, some people said it was a bit of a shoot. Some people said it wasn't. What she said was very, very, very good. And I enjoy the best promo. I tell you now, that's the best promo I've liked on WWE TV since CM Punk's pipe bomb.
Wow.
And the Miz's rant when he won the title.
On Talking Smack.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not gonna disagree with you, because as a proponent of a pretty good promo myself, a lot of the promos seen wooden and scripted. So many people in WWE have got personality.
Yes.
My God, give them beat points. Here's 5 points you need to talk about. You've got 3 minutes and 50 seconds to talk about them. Go.
Yeah, I agree.
Yourself.
I agree. When the promoter comes to me during a show and I go, I need you to get a stick and cut a promo, you got 2 minutes. And I'll say, okay, what are your points? And it'll be A, B, and C. Okay, everything else okay? We just me freestyling? Yeah, no worries. Because I'm confident with the stick.
Yeah.
You kind of felt like Charlotte was given that freedom.
Yeah, yeah. And it's important, especially if there is a point, and it does happen occasionally in shows. There's a point in the show where there's a beat point that's missing. There's a beat that's missing. And the crowd, for some reason, switches off, and you need to get them back. And there's always an effective promo will always get the crowd wanting more.
Yeah.
And when a guy cannot promo, and we did it today at training. One of the guys, some of the guys were working on matches and things like that. I took the rookies and I lined them up all against the wall, and I said, right, you've got 2 minutes to cut a promo. If you don't cut a promo that engages me, you've got two choices. You either take 10 push-ups or you take 10 chops. I said, go. And the first guy stood up, and I picked on him specifically because he's starting to get the promo thing. And I did something, and he laughed. I said, "Well, you got 10. Do you got 10 push-ups or 10 chops?" He took the 10 push-ups. Unfortunately, the little swine. I'll have to get him in the ring.
I would. If you were offering to chop me, I'd probably say no. Thanks, big man.
But here's the thing, and I explained it to them. After they had done, some did push-ups. One guy took the chops. It was all good. It was all in fun. I said to the guys, I said, listen here, when you are in that ring, you have got a certain amount of time to sell yourself. You're your own CEO, CFO, marketing department, PR, HR, freaking, you wipe your own ass. When you are in that ring, it is your time to sell yourself as a performer. And if people are going to believe in you, not only does your ring work have to be good, your stick work has to be good. Your outfit has to be on point. The way you look, the way you talk, the way you carry yourself, your attitude, your selling, everything. You are your own marketing department in there. If you cannot cut a promo out here, I'm not going to let you step into that ring and embarrass yourself and my promotion by being an asshole. So if you don't get this right here, you'll never get it right in there. And I feel sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, have you ever seen that on a show where someone's been handed the stick and it's just gone? I have. I'll tell you my story in a minute. But has there been a moment? Because, like you're saying, you want to sell yourself. This is your moment to get yourself over. If people don't know who you are, has there ever been a moment where you've been in the ring with someone like that? You have to name names, but you're thinking, "Christ, stop." Wow. Okay.
There's been many.
I have one. So
okay. I'm just gonna put this in here before I hear your story. I apologize.
Shoot.
Because there is a language differential in South Africa. English, Afrikaans, and Zulu, Xhosa, all of that stuff. Sometimes English is not the person's mother tongue, and for them to express themselves in a second or a third language is kind of difficult.
Yeah.
So you will get a guy that wants to cut a promo, and he's got a very, very thick Afrikaans accent, which is very, very much like a German or a Flemish accent. And they cut one in a rural area where there's a lot of Afrikaans people, and the promo goes over great.
Yeah.
But then he wants to bring his promo into an urban setting where there's more of a cosmopolitan type of people. And then he starts speaking, and he's got either his Afrikaans accent, or he doesn't know how to articulate himself in a second language or things like that. And what you want to say and what comes out of your mouth.
Yeah.
And you look at that and you go, rather stick to a headlock, my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Tell me your story. Tell me your promo story. Quickly.
Yeah. It wasn't me. I was in the ring. And I'm not going to mention the guy's name because I like this guy. And it was like kind of getting to know you kind of promos. It was only training. And he took the mic, and he just looked like doing it like straight away. He took the stick and he was like, yeah, well, you know, like, I've heard that you don't lie so well. And I just sat there and I went, get the fuck out of this room.
Wow.
Go. And he was like, I just don't know what to say. And I was like, so why take the mic? Why take it? I admire the fact you want to take it, but you've got to give me something back.
Yeah.
You have to do. We do like mic training or promo classes. Sorry, the barracks, and we have some females that obviously get involved and stuff, and they'll start getting some of the girls will start giving it some. But then I'll hit them with I'll say something like really sexist. I'll be like, listen, you don't belong in this ring.
Yeah.
You need to get back in my kitchen and make me a fucking pie. And at that point they go, and it's a reaction. And I'm like, yes, because I've got you. Give me something back. Tell me I'm a sexist pig. You know what I mean? Like, give me something back. But because they're so offended by it, they want to just beat the shit out of me, which is great because, I've got that heat. But I want them to give me something. But this guy was just like, yeah, you don't lie so good. What the does that even mean? Just please. And the word, I think, I don't know if you get this in South Africa, but in England, I find that some of the best promo guys we have over the UK, their wrestling ability doesn't match that. It's almost like Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman on the stick is untouchable. Stephanie McMahon is untouchable on the stick, but their wrestling ability is not the best. And unfortunately, I see that in a fair few people over here.
It's unfortunate, man. Just before we go, we've been on for quite a bit now. We didn't need to round this off. We were also doing promo classes, and everybody was very, very serious, challenging each other and things like this. And I got up there and I just started riffing Taylor Swift's "Shake It Off." And all the guys were like, "What?" I just started singing. I just started doing Taylor Swift, man, because everybody was like, "I'm gonna get you in the ring and I'm gonna kill you." And blah, blah, blah. I'm like,
do you know what?
Something different, man.
I would have loved to have seen that, but you've just brought up a great point, right? And I heard this on a podcast, and it was such a great point. When you're cutting a promo, And people are like, yeah, when I see him on April, whatever, the 27th, I'm going to rip his head off. I'm going to kill him. People that go to that show want to see someone die.
Yeah.
So if you don't kill that person or rip their head off, you've let them down, because in your promo you said you're going to do it. Now, if you don't do it, that makes you look stupid. So for all you aspiring wrestlers, don't say you're going to kill someone in a match, right? Just say you're going to hurt them, because then in a wrestling match you can hurt them. Yeah.
If you want some tips on how to do a classic old school style promo for all the people that are watching, go and check out Alison Kay. She does a minute and 30-second promo, and she gives you all the old school wrestling tropes that you can avoid. Go and check it out, please. It is an education. And also, I'd like to meet her one day, because she looks like she's really smarmy, and I really, really do like that. So there we go. Chris,
sexy fun time.
Yeah, I'm never gonna live that one down. Damn it. Shouldn't have been on a sure thing, man. Shouldn't have been on a sure thing. Mr. Rossington, we are going to have to say our goodbyes. We have been over there and back again. I really do have to mention this. The Way on NXT this past Tuesday with the 4-on-4 intergender match. They did an exclusive after the fact, after Dexter Lumis carried Indy Hartwell off. They did a YouTube exclusive promo afterwards. Go and watch it. It is the funniest thing you will see. If you do not laugh out loud at that promo, I'm telling you now, you have no sense of humor. I'm not even apologizing for that one.
I'll try. I'll be laughing on the inside.
Oh, of course. Chris, once again, thank you very much, man. WrestleMania is done and dusted.
Pleasure.
It was 2 nights. I hope they keep it at 2 nights, man, because it was great. It was overall.
Yeah, gives us more to talk about.
Overall, show gets a B+ from me.
Yeah, I think B+ is about fair.
Shall we give it 2 thumbs up? Shall we give it just for the main events?
That's been very generous. Can we do like a thumb and a half?
Yeah, here we
it's
go.
Kind of just like,
here we go. Yeah, no, agreed. Thumb and a half.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. As the authority said to Daniel Bryan, a good B+. There we go.
That's it.
All right. For Birchall, this has been the Loudmouth, off the top rope, uncensored, uncut, cutting promos, and hopefully not making idiots of ourselves when we say sexy fun time. We're going to get that one soon.